Yes, Ayurveda, it's a medicine traditional from India, and it's a combination of two words in Sanskrit, which is Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge. We need to understand why do we have the disease, and that way we can treat it actually and not have it again. So it's not only a medicine, but it's a science of how we can live a long life and healthy life.
We are interviewing businesses in Algarve in south of Portugal, and today we'll be talking with Vina. She is an Ayurvedic doctor in Portimao.
Hello, I'm Vina. I'm an Ayurvedic doctor. So I've studied in Gujarat in India for 5.5 years. I finished the course in 2012, and since then I've been working in Portugal as an Ayurvedic doctor, doing consultations, doing online courses as well.
Hello, Vina.
Hello.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So you are an Ayurvedic doctor, right?
Yes.
Here in Portimao, in Algarve. And before we get into your story and why you're practicing and how did you learn Ayurveda, could you tell us what is Ayurveda? Because before I came to record this interview, some people were asking me, what is Ayurveda? What kind of doctor is that?
Yes, Ayurveda, it's a medicine traditional from India. And it's a combination of two words in Sanskrit, which is Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge. So it's not only a medicine, but it's a science of how we can live a long life and healthy life. So.
And you are a doctor. What does it mean?
A doctor means, in this situation, it's a person who did BAMS. It means Bachelors of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. So I studied 5.5 years in India, in Gujarat. It's a state in India, and that is the
place where Ayurveda specialists are coming out, right?
Yes.
And how does it apply to like local life? Like what kind of problems you are solving for people?
Oh, in terms of problems, it's very vast. So I can have a patient that she is healthy, and they just want that I tell them more or less how to live healthier. Okay, so a guidance kind of. So that's one of the things. Many times it ends up almost like psychologist consultation, and many patients at the end they say, wow, I wasn't expecting for this to come out, because there are always things to solve and to understand about ourselves. And then I have patients that have diseases. Many times they have like digestive problems. Nowadays they have a lot of people with that, or also with allergic disorders like sinusitis or rhinitis or different kinds of allergies, also skin problems, emotional problems like people who cannot sleep. Okay, I have a lot of patients. Also female situations like candidias or menopause, like the hot flashes, and so.
So traditional or conventional medicine, not traditional, conventional medicine is treating probably the symptoms. When you have belly pain, they give you maybe a pill or some kind of very short solution which like releases the pain. But in Ayurvedic theory or ideology, how do you treat? How do you look it deeper, right?
Oh yes.
And
the aim, for me at least, it's always to see the cause and to go through the cause, not only the symptoms, because then that can be easy, but that is not the main thing to be treated. We need to understand why do we have the disease, and that way we can treat it actually and not have it again. So what I actually like is when the patient, they have results and then they don't need to come back to me, because it's like, if they are healthy, if they are fine, good, that's my aim.
How many times usually you see one patient? Like 3 times, 5 times, or it can be 1 to 20?
It depends. Yes, it depends on. No, usually not 20, but it can be one time. For example, the ones who just wants a guidance and that's it, and they are healthy. Otherwise, it's very.
Mm-hmm. So, what would be like when someone comes for the first time? Do you create a plan how you will work with that person, so the person has some homeworks to do and then has to report to you? How does it work?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. So what I do the diagnosis and I orientate the person, and then they need to do it. So it's a lot of self-treatment and not so much the outward things that we do or the patient does, but to himself. Does it make sense?
Yes. So
yes?
Are there a lot of people who don't do the homework? Let's say they come to you, they think you are the magician who will heal them, and then like after a few treatments you see that they are not taking action in something?
Well, I'm very clear about that. Mm-hmm. And I always say, you need to feel your body more than me telling you what you have to do. So this is a basic principle for me. It's that their results, it depends on them, not exactly on me. Mm-hmm. So because I'm very clear, the patient knows if he or she wants to come, they know they need to do their things. If not, it's their responsibility.
All right, so let's go to your house and let's talk more about Ayurveda practice.
Yes, so let's go.
So Veena, thank you very much for inviting us to your house.
Thanks for coming.
But this is not a place where you attend your clients, is it correct? What can you tell us in what environments you consult people?
Well, here I do my online consultations, but then I also work in different centers where I rent a room and I do consultations face to face, and I do it in different areas in Portugal, in Algarve, in Lisbon, in Porto. So,
in which towns people could expect to meet you?
At the moment, the consultations in Portimão, Lagoa, Almancil, and then Lisbon and Porto, and in Monchique também, also.
And you are attending everyone alone? You don't have an assistant, right?
No, I do everything. I like to manage my agenda.
And how does your day look like in normal situations when you have clients and like you wake up and usually your consultations are during the mornings or during the whole day? Or?
So usually I do the consultations morning time, because then afterwards I'm with my son, or I take care of the online things, because I also do the courses online, so that has a lot of things to manage. Obviously to reply emails, message from the patients that sometimes they might have doubts or they want to share things about them. So I'm there for that. And so I need time for the consultations, for the courses, and to reply and to manage the agenda.
And your courses are in which language and what do you teach there?
In Portuguese for the moment. Who knows, I'll do it in English.
And what do you teach and whom do you teach? To whom you are targeting?
Okay, for the moment, so this might change, and I want it to change. I want to do a big thing, but for the moment is for whoever wants to know more about themselves, and to be more healthy.
So any age person can be.
I had from 23, but it can be younger, and I had also 65, 70 years old. No, I had one that he was 80.
Oh, wow.
So yes, yes. So
let me understand better, how do you work? So let's say if someone comes with a specific problem, let's say a headache, and that person had headache for 3 days and they don't want to take any conventional medicine, what's your process during this consultation? What would you suggest? How do you explore the person?
okay, so I had a lot of patients who had that. First we need to see the cause, as I told you. So it can be, for example, you have headaches before your menses, okay? So then we understand the cause, which is usually before the menses, the body temperature increases, and then
menses are menstruation of woman.
Yes, exactly. And then you might feel headache. So it's mainly a hormonal situation that you need to decrease the heat in your body, okay? Or you might have headache because you're not eating properly, yeah? So then we need to understand, many times it's related also with giddiness, for example, okay? These two might be related.
What is giddiness?
So you feel dizzy.
Dizzy.
Dizzy, okay. Yes. So then you need to understand what they are eating, okay? So it's, first we need to see the cause, if it's hormonal, if it's what you're eating, if it's because you're not sleeping well, you're not resting, or it's because you feel tension. Tension also feels, produces headache. Or if you are not nourishing yourself properly, so then you need to understand the cause, and according to that we treat. So what we can do, we can, I can orientate in terms of food, what the person should eat or not. And I had a very interesting situation. A lady, she did have headaches. She was very healthy, used to eat well, used to do a lot of exercise, but headaches for 2 months before her menstruation. And I just told her what not to eat to decrease the heat in the body, and what to do in terms of, for example, which oils to use, or essential oils to use, and she didn't feel it again.
So what you are saying, that some foods heat the body and some make it colder, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us like a couple of foods, let's say some fruits which are heating the body?
Well, if the fruits, they are acidic, usually they tend to increase the body temperature. So the coconut is a cold kind of fruit that, you know, you will feel more cool, okay? But usually what I tell the people, what not to do or what not to eat. Yeah?
So like during that consultation, they will get a guidance what they have to do in the next days or weeks?
Exactly. So for these patients particularly, I told her before, like 10 days before her menstruation, she shouldn't eat certain things, she should inhale certain oils, which they are cool in property. Or do some breathing exercises that cool your body. Or it can be the opposite, so it depends also from person to person, but you also might need to heat your body, okay? So then it will be different.
And how long is one consultation? Usually it's like 45 minutes, 60 minutes?
Usually it's 1 hour, consultation, yes.
All right. And let's say now you're working alone, going to different locations, meeting people in those locations. What is your dream, let's say in 5 or 10 years, how you would like to see as a practitioner of Ayurveda, how does your business or your message look like?
Well, I'm mainly focusing in on online. Yes, I think that's, nowadays things has changed so much. And I think the online is working really good. And I can reach more people as well, so that's interesting. So my plan is exactly to reach more people and to do a proper Ayurvedic course, a program that is longer, because I see a lot of people are interested in being a therapist, Ayurvedic therapists. So then that is the aim, to do maybe 1 year course, Ayurvedic therapists.
And what's the difference between therapist and a doctor?
Well, a doctor, it's a 5.5 years course in India. You don't find it anywhere else. Though they have also in England, but it's not the same. It's completely different. Because in Gujarat we have the university, we have the hospital that we are every day, so it's different. In terms of a therapist, usually it's shorter the time, and they can't properly prescribe medicines. Okay, so that's a very deep situation. In terms of diagnosis, it's not the same. They can do diagnosis, but it will not be as deep as a person who did BMS.
And when you say prescribe medicine, are you able to prescribe medicine which can be bought in pharmacies with prescription?
No, I don't use chemicals.
So it's about Ayurvedic medicine.
It's about Ayurvedic medicine or local plants. So Ayurvedic medicines, we use the plants only, or metals, but it's mainly plants. And if we have local plants that they are also good, we can also use them.
So you have a little bit also the knowledge of local herbs and plants?
Yes.
In Portugal? All right. And one more question. So as a doctor, probably you need to kind of improve your knowledge. And how do you do that? Like, do you go to additional courses or do you mastermind with some people?
Well, I do get together with few colleagues. Online, because they are all over the world. So yes, we tend to get together. Sometimes I ask things to my teachers as well when I find a situation that is very particular, and I always keep in touch with them because I think it's important to.
And your teachers are in Portugal or in India?
They are in India. They are all there.
And your colleagues, which you meet online, how often do you talk to them?
Every 2 weeks we get together.
And how does it look like? You just talk about the problems with the clients you couldn't solve, or what do you do?
Well, at the moment we read the classical texts that you find it there. And so we read and we talk about it. Imagine we're talking about daily routine during the winter. Okay, so we can talk about examples that we have about patients. How do they feel during the winter? Usually we feel more body ache or pain in the joints, for example. And that happens more in the winter. Why is that? Or what happened? How did you treat? So we can have, it's not only the reading, which is very important, the classicals, but also to talk about what you experience
currently.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Vina. It was a pleasure to get to know you. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, they will find contacts below this video. So thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you.